You're most welcome to ScaleBridge Institute. We are still on project management. And right now, we are going to discuss about time estimation techniques. The definition of it is that it is a prediction of how long tasks or a project will take for it to be completed. So you're trying to understand that if I'm doing this particular project, how long will it take for me to complete this project? The importance of it are the following. Number one, prevent delays. Because you are able to know the time that you're going to take. By the end of the day, there'll be no room for delays. Another one, it prevents budget overruns. So because you understand the time which you're going to take for you to complete your project, you also understand the budget that will be attached to that particular time. So as a result, you are not going to overspend on your budget. Another one, it will prevent resource management. Because you understand your time properly, you also understand the amount of resources that will be required for you to complete that particular project within that particular amount of time. Let's understand the following key factors. Number one, task complexity. So you need to understand, this particular task for this particular project, are they simple or are they hard? So you understand the complexity of your project. Number two, resource availability. So you understand what resources do I have on my disposal for me to accomplish this particular project. From there, you need to understand risks which are associated with your project. Number one, let's understand this particular technique, that is program evaluation and review technique, that is known as PERT. So this one, it is a statistical tool for estimating project duration under uncertain condition. So on this one, you are given data. You have got data. So from that particular data, you are able to analyze that data for you to come up with the time for your project. So this one, it is done in uncertain condition, in a condition where you are not so sure about how long your project is going to take. So in those uncertain conditions, that is where the program evaluation and review technique is the best option. So there are some estimates that I used on this one. Number one, it is optimistic. So on this one, you try to understand the shortest time that your project can take when it is undergoing ideal situation. So let's say your project is just running smoothly. How long can it take for you to deal with that particular project? Another one, it is pessimistic. So this one, it is where you're trying to understand that if my project is facing strong hardships, how long can it take for me to complete this particular project? Most likely, this is where you're trying to understand that, let's say my project is undergoing normal conditions. So on normal conditions, it means that there is a mixture of some good and bad things. That is normal. So whenever you are in those normal situations, how long can it take for you to complete your project? There are some pros, advantages in program evaluation and review technique. Number one, identifies tasks, identifies risks. So as you are trying to understand optimistic time, pessimistic time, as well as most likely time, you are within the process of doing that, you are able to identify risks associated with your project. Another one, it is best for those projects which you are not sure, they are uncertain projects, so you're not so sure about the time they are going to take. So this one, it is the best. Cons and disadvantages, it is time consuming, so it takes a lot of time. Number one, another one, it is that it relies on accurate estimates. So you need to make sure that whenever you are estimating, you're making those estimates optimistic, most likely, as well as pessimistic. You need to make sure that you are more accurate. So on program evaluation and review technique, there is a formula that we use. So the formula says time estimation is equal to O, that is optimistic, plus 4mm, that is most likely, plus P, that is pessimistic time, the whole of it divided by 6. So we are given an example where we are saying for a particular project, optimistic time was 2 days, pessimistic time was 8 days, and the most likely time was 4 days. So the question is calculate expected time. So on O you put 2. On P you put 8. And on M you put 4. After saying 4 plus 4 multiplied by 4 plus 8, the answer is 26. The whole of it divided by 6, then the answer is 4.33 days. That means your project is going to take the whole 4 days, and in the 5th day, you're just going to take a little amount of time. And in that particular 5th day, you're going to finish your work. That is why the answer is 4.33 days. Let's go to another technique, that is critical path method. So on critical path method, you are trying to identify the longest sequence of dependent tasks for minimum project duration. So on this particular technique, you need to understand all the tasks in your project. And from there, you need to understand that each particular task will be assigned number of days or amount of what? Of time. From there, you need to come up with a network diagram. So in that particular network diagram, each task will be associated with number of days. So that particular network diagram is going to give you path which you are going to move. So you need to choose that particular task which gives you in a lot of number of what days, or which gives you that highest amount of what time. So you need to focus on that particular path with the highest number of what, or highest amount of time. So that is the critical path method. So number 1, as I have already said, you try to list the tasks. Number 2, you identify dependencies. Number 3, you estimate duration. So I've already explained these ones. Number 4, you create a network diagram. So you need to, from there you identify the critical path. So the critical path, that is that path which is giving you the highest amount of what? Of time. So for example, task A takes 2 days. Task B takes 3 days. Task C takes a single day. That means for you to come up with the critical path, you're going to say task A, which is 2, plus task B, which is 3, plus task C, which is 1. And it is giving you a total of 6 days. That means your critical path, it is that 6 what? Days. So on plans on this one, it highlights critical tasks. So this one, you are able to understand that, these are my critical these are my critical tasks in my project. Another one is that it optimizes resources. So this one, you are able to avoid that wastage of what? Resources. So the disadvantages or the cons, it is less effective for uncertain project. So this one, for those projects which they are uncertain, it is not effective. Right. Another one, we need to understand that it is complex for larger projects. So it is complex for those larger what? Larger projects. So we have got an example right there. We have got an example right there. So on that particular example, we are starting a project here. So there is a certain task that is going to take a single day. There is another task that is going to take a single day. Then here there is another task that is going to take 2 days. Then there is another task that is going to take a single day. From there, you finish your project. So you understand that there is a path here, there is a path here, there is a path here. So on this one, if you say 1 day plus 2 days, the answer is 3 days. If you say 1 day, the answer here is what? 1 day. If you say here 1 day plus 2 days plus 1 day, you can see that the answer is what? 4 days. So because this one, it is giving us a highest number of days. This route is giving us highest number of days. That means this one it is our critical path. So our critical path for this particular project, it is 4 days. Because in this particular route, this is the route that is giving us highest number of days. So that is the critical path method. So that means using this particular method, you say for this particular project to be completed, it is going to take 4 days. Because your critical areas, they are saying for them to be completed, they'll take 4 days. So you take that particular highest number or highest amount of time. So that is it on critical path method. Let's talk about best practices for time estimation. Number 1, involve the team. So everybody who is involved in that particular project, make sure that you get inputs from those guys. Number 2, use historical data. So you can use the history or for some projects which happened in the past. You need to account for risks, and on that one, you need to add some days, so that, let's say, in a case to say that you have made some delays, so those particular added days, they should cater for those delays. Another one, it is review regularly. So on this one, you need to update estimates as project evolve. So you have started your project, you shouldn't just be fixed on the estimate which you did at the start of your project, but you should be able to review as you are going on with your project and make changes if possible. As summary, we need to understand that time estimation is very much important. So this one, it ensures efficiency, project planning, and execution. So once you are able to do well your time estimation, it is going to make sure that the project planning and execution is done very, very well. So if we're talking of program evaluation and review technique, this one, it is best for uncertain project, and it uses that is optimistic, pessimistic, as well as most likely time. While critical path method focuses on critical tasks, which gives you the highest amount of time. So this one helps you to avoid those delays. Okay. Key to success. So combine techniques and follow best practices for accuracy. So it is very good for you to combine all these techniques, the PEPT as well as the CPM, for your project. Thank you so much.